Hi, Derek and Michaela Shipley here. I'm serving in Stavanger, Norway since January 1st of 2020. Today I want to take some time out with you to tell you a little bit about ourselves, but also our relationship with Contact Mission. So Michaela is going to start us off with that part of the story.
Yeah, so I met Contact Mission at International Conference on Missions.
In the fall of 2014.
Yeah, in the fall of 2014. And so I was looking for Norwegian missionaries or sending agencies, and so I came across actually Contact Mission and asked if they could do anything in Norway. And so there was an open door with them, and I got to talk with Rob Harris and got to do kind of a test with him, and then he told me to contact him in a month if I was really serious about it, which I was. So I contacted him a month later. He was kind of surprised, but that's when our relationship really started, and very thankful for it. Very thankful for, where we've come with them.
Yeah. So we were married. We got married in June of 2016. As we were dating at the time when she met Contact Mission at International Conference on Missions in 2014.
Yep.
But then in 2017, in May and June, we took a discernment trip here to Norway, and also Rob and Carla Harris joined us in part of that trip. Since not having any missionaries from Contact Mission then on the ground here in Norway. And the discernment trip had two goals. One was, do we feel called and united, both in mind and thought, of doing missions here in Norway? Michaela had been to Norway before. I had not yet been to Norway, and nor had I really had an overseas experience thus far. So for me, it was important. And then secondly was if we come to the ground, who's a ministry, who's a team that we'd want to partner with and learn from them how to do ministry here in Norway, with the challenge of, we kind of want to leave the American mindset behind of how to do ministry, but also come to the country we seek to serve and take up a Norwegian one. But also add some things, and we've learned over the years, of course. But that was really a great trip. I fell in love with Norway, the people, the culture, the food, just as Michaela will tell you the same thing when she came here when she was younger.
Yes.
And then we found a great church here in Stavanger, Norway, called Immisjakken, or Imi Church, because we had gone from Oslo, the capital of Norway. We went up north to Harstad, near Tromsø, I believe. And then we ended up coming here to Stavanger with a population of just over 130,000 people. But if you include the other surrounding cities here, we're running over, I think, 240,000. But within Stavanger itself, there's over 180 different nationalities. So for us, we saw a great opportunity not only to reach out to the Norwegians, but also to reach out to internationals in a very lovely, international, vibrant city. So that was great. Yes, we're going to come back. And we came back in 2018 for another 2 weeks just to rephrase that trip as our relationship building trip to get to know the church more, the congregation members, the staff, the volunteers, the city, even exploring and driving around Stavanger and the greater area. So that was a real blessing. And then finally to be able to come here in January 1st of 2020, before the pandemic hit, has been really great. But before we tell you a little bit more about our experiences, what has been your experiences regarding lifestyle things here?
Yeah, so it's just been a huge learning curve, huge learning opportunity since we've moved here. So we're constantly relearning how to do simple tasks like cooking and grocery shopping, and we even had to relearn how to drive. We had to get a whole new driver's license while moving here. So on top of language learning, which seems like there's so many things, I'm like, these are simple little things that little kids do, but we're happening to learn them. So yeah, a lot of learning.
Yeah, and then of course, all those things thrown in on top of the pandemic, which arrived 2 months later after moving here. So we haven't had a normal year here in Norway yet. We don't know what normal looks like here. But even in the midst of the pandemic for 2020, we would tell you that 2020 was our best year of our lives so far. After so many years of wanting to come here and do ministry here in Norway, and that started even much younger with Michaela, of a seed being planted in her heart when she was 10 years old for this country. But just the ministry experience of, how do you do ministry in the midst of the pandemic, especially when you move to a new country. But what we really like within that with Contact Mission is that they really emphasize the first year of taking it slow, to focus on learning the language, get to know the culture, go out to a coffee shop and just sit there and just soak in what's happening around you. So that really helps versus, they don't have the expectation of you just arriving and then you should have so many converts the first year. They're not like that. Contact Mission has been very encouraging and very supportive for us in our our time thus far, and just adjusting to the culture as we look forward to our many more years with them, with Rob and Carla, and just the whole team has been really a blessing. But out of that, we've been able to, how do we reach out to Norwegians and internationals alongside Emmy Church? When we first came to Emmy Church, the very vibrant ministry that they have going on, a very heavy emphasis on house churches, which in America we'd reference that as life groups. And we've been able to start an English international speaking house church, which has been a blessing, as we have people from Malawi, Ghana, Iran, also America. So even some Norwegians have joined us as well because they love the international atmosphere. But then also helping to strengthen Emmy Church's international ministry presence locally, as I've been able to do some projects such as I'm in the midst of translating the church's website from Norwegian to English, which is over 9,000 words, but thankfully we're being able to use a web translation platform to help with that process as I review and correct things slowly but surely. So it's just having this heart of wanting to reach out to the locals, especially the internationals, has just been really great in the midst of this pandemic thus far. But it's been a really positive experience regardless. God's always on the move. The question is, are you looking for him? Do you see him? And so, for us, it's just wanting to take the love of Christ to those who are lonely and hurting at this time and seeking relationships, and just many wanting to be physically with other people, not just on Zoom all the time. So I hope that helps share a little bit about our hearts and calling here to Norway as we look forward to many years ahead here in Norway with Emmy Church, with Contact Mission. And who knows, maybe you take a trip and you want to visit and see what ministry is like here in Norway as well. So until next time, take care.
Ha det.
Ha det.